on a roll with story time. So today we're gonna go back to one of the first times someone tried to bully me, at least I can remember. I'm sure there was some times when I was real little, like elementary school little, maybe even middle school. But the other day I was reminiscing, going down memory lane with one of my best buds. That's who I had the snake, feeding the rat story with. And we kind of chit-chatted about some of those past memories of having to, stand up for ourselves. So I was a freshman in high school. I was on the track team, and there was this guy that had just came from football. He was a junior at the time. And this guy was, he looked like he was a fitness competitor. I mean, this guy was just beast mode. He was swole. He was a little shorter than me, but he was definitely much more muscular than me. So he comes from football to the track period. So in essence, he's really the new guy, although he's the upperclassman, and I'm a fish. And this one particular day, we were out stretching where the high jump mat is, and the high jump mat has the cover on it, and it's covered in water. I mean, it's like kind of matted down with a big puddle of water. And so we're stretching, we're kind of standing around, just talking to each other. And all of a sudden he comes up and he just picks me up and he grabs me, right? And he starts taking me to the high jump mat to go dump me in that water. And I panic. I'm like, oh shit. So he's got me up, and while he was holding me, I started kind of pushing my weight down like that. And I went like this. And all of a sudden, my feet touched the ground. And in the same moment they touched the ground, I reached over him and picked him up, and I slammed him to the ground. And I stood over him and I said, "Don't you ever mess with me again." There might have been some curse words in that. And then I walked off, turned around and just stood there, just huffy and puffy. And he didn't mess with me ever again. And it was in that moment I had earned all this respect from all the upperclassmen that I ran track with. In fact, back in those days, there was this wall in our student center, and it was like pretty much only black people would hang out at this wall. And all the black people that I was in track with that were upperclassmen, it was like we were already cool, but after that happened, man, they were so like, "Oh my God, like you're the man." And so anytime I walked in the student center and I went up to the wall, I got to give my little half hugs to all my homies from track. And there was just something about that made me feel like I fit into this group that I once didn't feel like I was a part of. So that was a huge deal for me, being a freshman and having this respect and this welcoming in to the upperclassmen. And at the time, to, I guess you could say to a different race of people that seemed to be exclusive in this area inside one building. So I think we had like 9 different buildings in our school. So that was epic for me. I stood up for myself. I didn't overdo it. I didn't kick the dude when he was down. I just stood up for myself, and I set a boundary very clearly not to ever mess with me again. And he didn't. And honestly, since then, we were always cool. In fact, I chit-chat with that dude from time to time to this day. So I feel like also we live in a different world. I feel like a lot of like the younger generations than me, when I hang out with friends and their younger siblings, being a tough guy or, being that kind of like that jock that, walked around and, you were tough. What was once okay to walk tall like that and have, some respect and some pride that went in with, being the kind of guy that stands up for themselves. It was no longer like a cool thing. Like today, it doesn't seem like it's like a cool thing, which I can totally respect that. But it is cool to be able to stand up for yourself. And anytime I see somebody that is being talked down to or bullied that I feel like isn't standing up for themselves or can't stand up for themselves, I have it in my heart, to step in and make sure they're okay, or at least ask if they're okay. If they say that they're not, I tend to step in and help diffuse the situation. I've never stepped in and had to fight anybody. I've stepped in and I was always able to diffuse situations for people that I saw that seemed helpless in those kind of situations. So we're a community. We all live amongst each other. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in our world that like other people don't exist. And sometimes we turn a blind eye to people that are in need. And as Tom Petty said, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And a friend with weed is better, but we don't always have that friend around. So, recognizing when someone really needs some help, being able to step up and do something for them, I think that's just doing a good deed. And the feeling that you get in your heart for being the person to help them feels so good. So I don't know. I guess this is one of those. If you see someone if you see someone in need of help, offer a helping hand and do what you can to be safe and protected. That's all I got for today. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend. And I guess this is what, Labor Day? Be safe. Cheers.